This week is Loneliness Awareness Week, and it feels important to speak honestly about something that's easy to hide but hard to live with. There were weeks when I would sit in my room for hours on end, not studying, not resting, just existing. I avoided eye contact, I avoided hallways, even the sound of laughter in the kitchen made me tense up. I could be in a room with 20 other students and still feel completely invisible. I'd sit quietly, pretending to scroll on my phone so no one would see how out of place I felt. I'd eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner alone, not just because I wanted to, but because the thought of starting a conversation felt like climbing a mountain. And the worst part, I couldn't explain it. I didn't feel sad all the time, so I thought, this is different to depression, right? But something still felt heavy, dull, empty. Being around people didn't always help. In fact, at times, it made the loneliness feel even more isolating. There's still a stigma around loneliness, like it's something to be ashamed of, even when those around me admitted they felt lonely too. No one really knew how to talk about it, let alone how to support each other through it. There's a common misconception that loneliness affects a certain group, often the elderly. But in reality, it can affect anyone. And more often than not, it's young people who are feeling it most. Eventually, I saw my student counsellor. I remember saying, I don't know what this feeling is, I just don't want to feel it anymore. That's when we started to talk about loneliness. And it's not the kind of loneliness that goes away when you're in a crowd. This was deeper, like a constant hum in the background of everything that I did. Being estranged meant I didn't have the safety net a lot of students rely on. No parents to call, no family to visit, no one to remind me that I mattered. And being first generation meant that I was navigating university totally blind, no guidance and no lived advice. So when I felt lonely, it wasn't just social, it felt like I was cut off from every kind of support system. What helped me begin to cope was naming it, saying it out loud. I am lonely. And then something shifted. I started researching, looking for anything to prove that I wasn't the only one. That's when I found that nearly 2 million young people, aged 16 to 24, in the UK report feeling lonely, a number that's rising, especially among university students. That number stopped me because I realised loneliness does not look like what you think it does. And I wasn't broken. I was part of something bigger. Loneliness Awareness Week is here to challenge the stigma, to remind us that loneliness isn't weakness, it's human, and it can happen even when you're doing the right things, going to university, joining societies, showing up. So if you're feeling it now, please know that you're not alone. There is nothing wrong with you. You deserve support, connection, and understanding, and not just during this week, but every week. So let's talk about it. Let's check in with each other. And most of all, let's remind ourselves that we belong here, even on the days it doesn't feel that way.